Okay, so this is another comment one of my videos on my YouTube. So this is from Dog Swarm Plant. It said, where is the crankshaft position sensor located on ES9A V6 engine? Um, I have a 407 with this code and reads idling almost 2,000. Is it 2,000 or 200,000? I believe he meant 2,000 RPM at idle, and the variable timing isn't engaging according to reading on the scan tool. Um, I don't think your crankshaft position sensor could be an issue or could cause this kind of symptom you described. I genuinely don't think so, because I know symptoms of faulty or failing uh, crankshaft position sensor on this ES9A engine. Now, for better understanding, for Peugeot cars, uh, crankshaft position sensor is just the general name which cut across all brand of cars. But when it comes to Peugeot, just use the Peugeot term. So what we call it is engine speed sensor. Engine speed sensor, that's what Peugeot calls it. You know. So let's work with the Peugeot term. So for engine speed sensor on your Peugeot 407 or on your ES9A engine, V6 engine, the location, I don't have the picture of the gearbox that could show you where the sensor is located. I can get it online, but I can describe it for you. If you have the vehicle, once you follow my description, you'll be able to find it. Now, on ES9A engine, I mean, if you have a 407 V6, petrol V6, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Go to stand on the left side of the engine, bay. That's the tire. You know, the left side is left side. If you are sitting inside the vehicle, you are sitting on the driver's seat. You are sitting on the driving position of the vehicle. That doesn't matter. But you are sitting on the or any of the front seat facing the windscreen. Then, as you are facing the windscreen, which side is your right hand? Whichever side you are, your right hand is facing, or your left hand is facing, is the side in your engine bay. So if I say right side of your vehicle, it means when you go to your engine bay, that just use the position of sitting behind the sitting on the driver's seat or the passenger front seat. That's what you use. So raise your hand on while sitting on the seat, whether you're using on the rear seat or front seat. Just wherever your hand is, your right hand is your right position of the vehicle. Your left hand, that's your left position of the vehicle. So use that same and go to your engine bay. Don't use the same position when you are standing in front of your engine bay. You start to check which one is your right or left. No, it's when you are sitting on the seat, your right is that side. You know, your right is your right, your left is your. So when you are staying, when you open your bonnet, the left side of the engine bay, in that case, go to the tire of that left side and stand. In other words, let me put it a different way. The gearbox, where the gearbox is mounted, the position of where the gearbox is located on your engine bay, once you open your bonnet, that is your left side. As far as 407 is concerned, whether it's your car is right hand drive position or left hand drive position, doesn't matter. Where the gearbox is located on your engine, go to that side, go to the tire side, where the tire on that front side is. Then look down on your engine. Of course, to do that, you have to remove the air filter assembly. Yeah, you have to remove that box on your 407 V6, that air filter that takes this thing there. Remove it. If possible, also, there's a tube, a rubber tube that connects the air filter box to the throttle body. If you can, remove it. If you cannot, you can still see but it will make it much easier for you to locate this sensor if you follow this description. So let's assume you can remove it or push it aside, or look down under the tube. You will see coolant temperature switch is mounted on the thermostat housing. So the coolant temperature switch is a green sensor. You see even the connector, depending on, I think 407V6, the connector has a different color. I can't remember, but I know for 406 is green color. So, but you see a green color sensor, the material of the sensor is rubber, blue rubber. But sometimes when you change it, could be iron, it will be gold color. But the OEM, the factory one, will be green. It's rubber, not iron. So you see something like green this thing, then on the or just locate your thermostat housing, or better still, you see that your radiator, there are two hoses from your radiator on your 407 which come from the upper part of the radiator. Actually three. 407V6, as far as 407V6 is concerned, two are bigger than the third one. The third one is very small. That one is different. But focus on those big two ones from your radiator. Then from the radiator, follow them. You see where they enters on the engine. That is your thermostat housing. And that is pointing, that thermostat housing, follow it, you see the sensor I'm referring to, which is your CTS, coolant temperature sensor. So once you stay beside that tire, on your left side of the front engine bay, look down, you see the sensor, green one, then continue to look down, go down, just follow down sensor straight, that coolant temperature sensor, straight down, just keep going down. Then you will find, of course, you will now get to where the gearbox sits or is attached on the engine. Somewhere around there, what I'm saying is somewhere around where the gearbox meets or is attached or mated to the engine, that's where the engine speed sensor is mounted. You are not easily, you can't easily see it until you look for it down there. So you have to follow that CTS down. It's not necessarily on a straight line under the coolant temperature sensor, which is CTS, but if you follow it down, then you'll find it could be a little bit down, as if you are working your way down towards the CV joint where it enters. Just on the gearbox, but it's not front. It's not like if you go to start looking towards the front, like if you are looking towards the radiator, no, you have to look towards the back of the engine. But it sits almost close to where the engine and the gearbox are attached to each other. Any sensor you see there, any sensor you see towards that edge of the gearbox where it's bolted to the engine, any sensor you see, it has a 2-wire connector and the black color, at least where the connector goes in. So any sensor you see, any electronic component you see there that has that 2-wire, that is your engine speed sensor. So that's why I say I don't necessarily need to show you the picture. I could, but it would have taken more time for me to search for it to do that, which could have been helpful actually for this video. But at least if the only people that understand what I explain, people that have this car, 407V6 petrol engine, ES9A. If you don't have it, you may not understand, because if you have it, even if you don't know, all you need is go to your car, open the bonnet, follow this instruction, or description, you get it right. Just remove all these things I explained to you. If you don't know how to remove it, maybe you can now seek for assistance to remove those components I mentioned, your air filter box, your air tube to the throttle body, and you see it down there. So follow the CTS, follow the thermostat housing, go straight, look straight down, you see the sensor. However, in your case, like I said, it's not your sensor. It's not the engine speed sensor that's causing it. Engine speed sensor on ES9A V6 engine has its own unique symptom when they are faulty. One of the ways it shows itself of when failing is stalling. You just be driving, immediately you press the brake pedal, the car will go off. You just be driving, immediately you stop accelerating the car will go off. These are the symptoms of when they are weak. And if you scan them, you will see to tell you engine speed sensor. Yeah. But intermittent fault, temporary fault, you will see it there. So another symptom is hard start. You crank it the first time, it won't start. Second time, it won't start. It may take a while then to start, but once it starts running until you go back and start to crank the engine again. You refuse to start. But again, once you start scan your car, it will be showing you also engine speed sensor. That's what you see there. You won't see crankshaft position sensor unless maybe it's not PP2000 or Peugeot Planet or Lasia or Diag Box. But if you use all these Peugeot professional scan tool, what you see is engine speed sensor. Either permanent fault, temporary fault, or intermittent fault. That's what you find. So I don't want to believe whatever issue you are having has to do with symptoms you are having. That's with the engine speed sensor. No. Yeah, you're having. You mentioned your RPM stays high at idle more than you say almost 2,000 RPM. Yeah, that's quite strange. So all you need to do, I don't know. See, when I work with scan codes, definitions. Sometimes I prefer working with definition of report from PP2000 or Diagbus or stuff like that, or code actually. Even the definition, I can understand that. Rather than, had it been you did the scan and say, hey, these are the faults that you found, I can be able to interpret. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but come on, I am very good at these engines. I most likely have idea what, at least now help to narrow it down for you. Might not give you the exact pinpoint the exact culprit or cause, but I might be able to narrow it down for you based on the scan report. So what you just described are just the symptoms, but symptom doesn't necessarily mean you will know exactly the cause, because as far as electronic fuel injection system is concerned, a particular symptom can be caused by 10 different sensors when each of those 10 different sensors or electronic components are failing individually. My point is any of the 10 can cause that symptom. So you can't say because you're having one particular symptom, it must be this sensor. No. But what the scan tool shows you, from there you can now narrow it down. Okay, of all these 10 sensors that can cause this fault, the scan tool is saying this particular one. You might not mention the sensor name, but there could be a word or a code you could put there where you can now interpret that it's pointing indirectly to this sensor. So focus on that sensor first, or focus on that. Look, for example, what you are describing could be a timing issue. And if it's a timing issue, yeah, it could actually still measure engine speed sensor, but guess what? It won't only stop at engine speed sensor. It could now mention camshaft position unknown, this and that, reference sensor, no, yeah, cylinder 1 reference sensor, this and that. So there are things you could now see, even though the engine speed sensor is also included on the report or fault found, but you could now say, okay, because the synchronization is not correct between the camshaft and the crankshaft. Yeah, so that's why I say the engine speed sensor shouldn't be a worry for this kind of symptom. If your engine speed sensor is bad, yeah, you won't even be talking about your engine running. Your headache will be that it's not even running, or it starts and goes off. That's where before I even go there. But for it to be running, but running erratically in this manner, nah, I think it's beyond the engine speed sensor. Okay, so I hope it makes sense for those who probably um, also not aware much about ES9A engine. Now you know. So if you have this kind of question, ask. I can make out time and respond. You know. Alright, so like the video, subscribe to the channel, and watch out for more. So all this, just go to any video I publish or post I publish, ask your questions, and I'll come and respond to them. Alright.